Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. In a stunning twist of events, Karnataka Chief Minister's wife decided to return the plots of land that are at the heart of a corruption case against her and her family. She wrote to the Mysore Urban Development Authority on the day that the Enforcement Directorate filed a money laundering case against her, her brother and the Chief Minister of Karnataka. In a statement she released later, she said that she was obeying the call of her conscience and that it was out of her own volition. She highlighted that her husband, Mr. Siddaramaiah, had adhered to a strict code of ethics throughout his 40-year political career, remaining entirely free from any kind of blemish. Karnataka Chief Minister then slammed his political rivals for dragging in his family. She is a victim of the politics of hatred against me and is suffering from psychological torture, he said. He even apologized to his wife, who has so far shied away from public glare and has never intervened in political matters. Now, these developments follow a series of setbacks for the Karnataka Chief Minister. On the 25th of September, a special court issued an order directing a Lokayukta police investigation into the allotment of these 14 alternate sites. A day before that, the Karnataka High Court had upheld Governor Thawarchand Gehlot's sanction for an investigation into these alleged illegalities in the Muda site allotment. Today, the Lokayukta police conducted a spot inspection of the original land in Mysore as well. The politics continued to peak because the BJP-JDS combined are baying for the Chief Minister's blood. They alleged that Parvathi, his wife's offer, was a meek surrender. It was merely a tactic for damage control. They claimed it was an open and shut case, a clear case of misuse and that of nepotism. Now, shortly after the Enforcement Directorate filed its FIR against Siddaramaiah yesterday, Parvathi wrote to the Mysore Urban Development Authority. In a statement, she declared that no material possession could outweigh Siddaramaiah's honour. She highlighted that she had never pursued any personal gain during her husband's long political career, and she asked Muda to take steps on her request as soon as possible. Here's what she wrote and here's what her request was. She went on to highlight that since Muda had used 3.16 acres of her land, she was granted compensatory land, and that was public knowledge. There was 14 acres in Vijayanagar that was given to her as this alternate site. Not that she asked for, the one that was allotted to her, which you're completely aware of, is what she wrote in her letter. Then she said that I wish to return these 14 acres of land and cancel the sale deeds as well. I also wish to transfer the ownership of this land to Muda, is what she says. I request you to take immediate steps to ensure that this transfer happens, was her request, to which the Mysore Urban Development Authority's commissioner said that the case is sub judice, so we'll see what can be done legally, but we're open to taking this land back. So what exactly is this entire scam? Now, it revolves around land allotment to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's wife and transactions that have taken place over a period of close to 2 decades. Social activists have alleged that the allotment has led to a loss of at least 45 crores to the state exchequer. Now, in 2004, a 3.16-acre plot was bought by Mallikarjuna Swamy, the Chief Minister's brother-in-law. The plot was then gifted to Parvathi, who is the Chief Minister's wife, by Mallikarjuna Swamy in 2010. Muda illegally developed that land is the allegation between 2011 to 13, following which Parvathi in 2014 sought compensation for herself for the land that Muda had taken over. In 2017, Muda agreed to compensate her, and in 2022, she was given 14 plots in an upmarket area in Mysore. The complainants in this case have argued that these allotted plots were far more valuable than the original land which had been taken by Muda under the 50-50 scheme. Now, after the controversy came to light, which is this year, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah offered to return the 14 plots only if his wife was given 62 crores as compensation, and he sought that compensation, which is why he today faces allegations of corruption. Not just allegations, now he faces an ED case as well, including his wife and his brother-in-law. So now that his wife has decided to return this land, does that absolve him of any guilt, or is this really an admission of guilt as the BJP alleges? That's what we ask our guest tonight.
The money laundering ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ what is my role? There is no role of me.
The decision of giving back or surrendering sites, that itself is an admission of guilt by Chief Minister Siddharamiah.
Let me open this up. GS Prashant, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress, Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court, and Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, join us on this broadcast. Let me begin by asking Ashwini Dubey, legally speaking, given that the case is sub judice, that there is an investigation that is currently underway, a court-appointed investigation of the Lokayukta, this give and take, this transaction of I don't want this land, I wish to give it up, the Mysore Urban Development Authority agreeing to take it back if everything is fine. Does this give and take work, legally speaking? Can this take place when the case is sub judice?
No, of course not. It's a clear-cut case where the abuse of and misuse of an high office has been done. It's a clear-cut case when after the registration of the FIR, this statement has come that they want to return it. It's a case where somebody is sitting in the office who may influence the evidence is not resigning, and that too when the sanction has been granted, and that too High Court has upheld the governor's decision, and the ongoing investigation is going on. So see, it's a classical case yet another, where a sitting chief minister is not resigning and not cooperating and also not giving the evidences which are required, which has not been possible for an ordinary citizen who was not in the office to influence the allotment. And the return of 14 plots in question will not be helpful in a criminal law to close the proceedings. It will be an evidence, in fact, rather, to establish by the agency that alleged offence has taken place. See, criminal jurisprudence rests on the commission of offence, prima facie materials and evidences, then further collection of evidences and preservation and submission of evidences before the court. So here, by this statement, it has been prima facie established that the alleged 14 plots were transferred illegally, thereby violating the law. And that too the court has to decide. And now the premium agency of this country is investigating it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But as of now, it is a case where the constitutional morality comes in the play, and the chief minister should resign. Chief minister should not, because somebody is sitting, may influence the investigation. This is how when agency start investigation, one person should not be in charge of the affairs of that state. Over to you.
Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, why did the chief minister's wife then, decide to give up this plot, give it back to the Muda? She wants to transfer all of the sale deeds as well. Why now?
In her letter, one to the officials, and then the statement she has given, she's very clearly said the way they are using politics, playing dirty politics only to tarnish the image of her husband, who is a two-time chief minister and who has had a very clean record of 40 years of politics, just by using these plots. She's literally saying these plots have no value in her life more than, her husband's image, one, and the way they are mentally harassing her. The ED, really, they're misusing every constitutional and independent bodies they can, only to tarnish his image. That's the reason she has given up these lands, not because with any hopes that the proceedings will stop. Nowhere has she written that please stop the proceedings. No one is even asking. And also, I would like to respond to what Mr. Ashwini Dubey said, that not cooperating in the investigation. Sorry to say this, he is cooperating in every investigation. His only reason we went to court was the misuse of governor's position, and not because we didn't want any investigation. We are very clear on it. The one, she wanted to give it up in the beginning itself, but some of the people who said, why should we give up when, we have law by our side and we should fight for it.
So then why give up now?
They're actually misusing the power.
The first complaint that came to the fore, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, was in June this year. There have been at least 4 months that have gone by.
Now she really wants to give it up because of the mental harassment. She's a woman, though Her husband is a two-time chief minister. She hasn't made one public appearance so far, not used any of this, privileges. And you could even see some news articles where she's actually standing in a queue in one of her favorite temples with the people, and somebody had to find it out. She's not someone who even comes out in public. She didn't even attend the swearing-in ceremony of her husband. She always wanted to stay private. And today, you people are bringing the woman of the house just to play your politics, dirty politics. And that's one
Poonam, I
reason.
think we have to move on.
I don't know who you mean by you people, but the investigation has been. Okay, sure, but the investigation, has not been ordered by the BJP. It's been ordered by a court, and the Lokayukta is looking into that. But GS Prashad,
of BJP who is saying this, he should actually talk about his own father, who was an ex-chief minister, who is out on bail on a POXO case. Such a shame.
But when corruption allegations were leveled against him, he did step down, and that's the same argument that the BJP is also making, that there is a comparison in the state to be drawn as far as Mr. Yediyurappa is concerned. But GS Prashant, this is just mental harassment now, and it's not limited to just the chief minister, but also to his family. That's the allegation.
Poonam, a thief is caught red-handed while stealing, and then he returns the goods to the rightful owner. Are you saying that no court or police should take cognizance of that? Just because the thief either returns the goods to the owner or agrees to return the goods to the owner does not make the offence any lesser. So therefore, you look at Siddaramaiah's statement last 3-4 months. He said he had nothing to do with Muda scam. Then he said his brother-in-law had purchased the sites and then gifted to his wife. Then he said, give me 62 crores, I'll return the sites. Now, then they challenged the governor's sanction. They said that governor did not apply the mine. High Court, its reasoned order, especially at para 51, 54 and 56 said that governor has applied his mind and prima facie there exists a case for investigation. After this, on one hand, Siddaramaiah is not resigning. On the other, now, he says that he was not aware that his wife has written a letter to Muda. First of all, as Mr. Dubey explained, Muda has now no power to take the sites back because the matter is sub judice. It is now part of the money laundering activity which now ED will be charging Siddaramaiah with. Therefore, you cannot now absolve your guilt by stating that I am going to return the site citing mental harassment. There is no mental harassment here. Law is equal for everybody, including CM's wife. Whether she remains private or stands in a queue in the temple, the law remains the same, and let them take cue from Congress's leader. When they say, "Ladki hu, lad sakti hu," fight it out. If you really have just, believe in the justice system of the country and the judiciary, why are you now backing out? Fight it out, saying these were your sites, and you will fight it out. No, they have understood that they have made a mistake. They have committed grave errors. Now, to gain sympathy, they are saying that we are willing to return the sites. Where is this returning the sites coming from? Investigation must happen, and let law of the land decide. Let the courts decide. If at all Siddaramaiah's wife has to get back her sites, or if there's no charges, she will continue to be the owner. Why is Congress getting hassled by this? Are they not believing in the judiciary? On one hand, they say that they still say that governor's sanction was not right. They're still questioning governor's office, saying that governor's office is being misused, even after the High Court stating that governor was right. So this, in my opinion, amounts to contempt of court. If time and again, if Congress says that governor's office is being misused by BJP, this amounts to contempt of court because the High Court has said that governor has applied his mind. And Congress is not even bothered to rein in their people to say that you cannot now raise issues about the integrity of the governor's office, where the High Court has upheld it. And what else are we? We are only expecting a simple resignation from Siddaramaiah, who has taken moral high grounds in the past. Let him resign. Let the investigation happen. If the courts happen to decide that Siddaramaiah and his family are not guilty, let him come back and claim his chair, if at all his Congress colleagues would agree him to. It is an internal tussle. Siddaramaiah doesn't want to back out. They're only harming the interest of the state by doing this musical chairs with the CM's position.
Sure, Bhavya, I'll come back to you. I see your hand up going there, but I want to get in Syed Asad Abbas as well. He's been waiting patiently. As far as this investigation goes, the Chief Minister has been saying we'll fight it legally, but in that time, since the last setback from the court came, we haven't seen a legal challenge from the Chief Minister or his council. It's been at least a week or more. But in between that, we have the wife coming out and saying, please take the land back, we don't want it anymore.
Poonamji, certainly you've made a very strong point. I think there should be a legal recourse to this. There are no two ways about it. I come from the beautiful land of Karnataka and I would certainly want justice. But quickly answering my two friends who are on the side of the BJP. The first one is Ashwini Dubey Saab, a very respected lawyer, has stated that Siddaramaiah ji is not cooperating. That is absolutely false, sir. Had you been from a non-BJP state and had you been a chief minister like Siddaramaiah, Hemant Soren and Arvind Kejriwal, you would also lose faith. Didn't you read the Supreme Court's observation which called the CBI being used like a caged parrot? So how would
It was in
you, sir,
2013.
use them? No,
Syed.
no, allow me to. This is not fair.
Syed, it was in
Can you-
2013.
Okay.
Okay,
ma'am,
let's
can I
not. Okay,
resign
let's
from-
not heckle each other.
CBI
Please let him. Mr. Prashant, let him finish, please. I'll give you your time to rebut him. Let him finish, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Poonamji. Appreciate. Second point, we need to understand that CBI ED has lost its graph. They've lost their brand. They've lost their notion. Second point, my dear friend compares Yediyurappa's should resign, so Siddaramaiah should resign. When did Yediyurappa resign? January was when the file was against him, the FIR. It took him 9 months to resign. Even after what? 1,000-paged backed evidence of the Lokayukta court with proof, with evidence, and only then he was made to resign by the orders of the court. So he did not willingly resign. Oh, morality, honor, and resign. No, sir, you're absolutely wrong, and that's a false equivalence. Now, third point. Okay, Siddaramaiah, let him resign. He must go to jail, so on and so forth. But what about the other beneficiaries, sir? Are you even aware that your ally of the JDS, Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, is also a beneficiary under the Muda allotment? Your BJP MLC Vishwanath is there, SR Mahesh is there. Not just that, GT Devegowda as well.
Law is clear.
So
Let them investigate it.
no,
We are not stopping.
allow me to complete my point, sir. I heard you patiently.
No,
Don't
I'm
get
saying
rattled.
let them
No, Poonam,
investigate
can I
it. We
complete
are
my
not stopping
point,
them.
please?
Mr.
Can I
Prashant,
complete
Mr.
30
Prashant, please, I
seconds?
request you once again. I will come back to you. You can rebut to every single point that he's making. Let him finish, please.
Yes, thank you. So the point that I'd like to derive is let there be law equally. Like my friend Prashant of the BJP spokesperson said, that if she's in queue, private life, public life, law is same for all. Why, sir? Then if you're asking resignation of Siddaramaiah, what about resignation of Shri H.D. Kumaraswamy ji, who's actually out on bail? He's also facing corruption charges. That you say nothing? Your own leader, B.Y. Vijayendra, the Karnataka president of the state of Karnataka BJP, his own father is booked under the POCSO. He's under bail. The same Yediyurappa that we speak of, former chief minister. Nothing on that front. Respected sir, if morality, honor and resignation must start, then your leaders of the BJP, JDS also must fall through.
Okay,
Also, we need
resignation
to
or
understand.
not,
Last point.
resignation or
Last
not, Mr.
point,
Abbas, that's a
Poonamji.
political point that's being made. That's what the Congress's or Mr. Siddaramaiah's political rivals are asking for. But coming back to the point that we're discussing at hand, and looking at the optics of this, when it's said to be a surrender or an admission of guilt, it looks like it from the optics of it, because that's the kind of picture it paints, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy. That while the investigation is on, there is a deadline for the Lokayukta to finish for 3 weeks. Like I said, Mr. Siddaramaiah hasn't gone to a higher court to appeal against the last order.
Okay, that's the whole point. That means he's not against the investigation. No one's expecting the investigation or the proceedings to stop. He's returned it only out of, the harassment that she's facing as a woman who just wanted to be private, the way they were misusing the office. That's the whole point here.
What is this private business?
But it's...
Mr. Prashant, let me respond.
But Bhavya, as far as her being a private individual, being away from public glare, I give that to her. But the fact is, this land in question is in her name. The allegations that have been faced, the case that has been faced, the complaint that was filed by all was by a public figure, which is Mr. Siddaramaiah.
What? Come again?
All of the allegations that were made until now, all of the court cases that have been going on, the complaints that were made to the governor for which sanction was given was against a public figure. So his wife being a private person, I'm sorry, does that argument cut any eyes?
Exactly. If the Muda, if the plots that were allotted were to his wife, when Siddaramaiah has no role to play in it, and the officials had allotted it,
No.
instead of the land that was acquired, 1 second, let me respond. Let me finish. That's the whole point. That's exactly what we were speaking. Yediyurappa resigned because there was 1,600 pages of report given by Lokayukta Santosh Hegde against him. That's the point. There is no, you can't even compare, or even ask for his resignation. If he wanted to influence or misuse his power as a chief minister, why would they even return, right? They didn't have to return.
Why are they returning then? That's exactly what we're trying to ask you.
Exactly.
That it's not about her
Poonam
being
If
a
you're
private
not guilty,
person.
don't return.
Poonamji, I have the answer. Can I take 30
She
seconds?
was dragged into this only yesterday when an FIR by the ED was filed. Up until now, for the last 4 months at least, the case and the allegations were only against Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is a public figure.
Poonam, may I come in?
But the Muda, the plots are in her name.
30 seconds, Mr. Prashant.
It was given by the plots.
Firstly...
No, 1 minute, let her finish. 30 seconds, I'll come to you. Let her finish.
See, Poonam, you have to understand that it is not about Siddaramaiah being targeted. The governor's sanction is clear and the High Court is very clear wherein they say that at para 51, it shocks the conscience of the court that the petitioner's wife, that is Siddaramaiah's wife, is the owner of 56 crore property. And then the court also observes that the CM cannot hide behind the smoke screen. So what are they trying to prove here? And again, this argument of Congress saying that she's a private person that doesn't hold any eyes. I repeat, law is equal for everybody. How much ever you wish to keep your life private, you should not have indulged in these murky deals. Once you've indulged in these murky deals and land grabbing, now you cannot claim to be private people. You have to face the law and you have to undergo whatever punishment the court orders. There is no justification just because she is Siddaramaiah's wife. She cannot escape the law. And moreover, Siddaramaiah has misused his position ever since he was Deputy Chief Minister and then Chief Minister in 2013 to 2018 and even now. Whenever he has held top functions, he has misused the agencies for his personal gain. It is clear from the merits of the case also that the land which is in question was also denotified in the deceased person's name, which Mr. Mallikarjun Swamy purchased and then gifted to his sister. So therefore, the buck stops at the CM's house and CM has to resign. Congress has no moral ground to talk about corruption because corruption is the backbone of Congress and corruption begins or probably starts growing in Congress's backyard.
Okay, Mr. Prashant and Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, let me come in here.
Saying that it is a private citizen.
Okay, let me come in here. This private citizen, public figure, and which is why she should not be in the glare argument, I don't think cuts any eyes. But coming back to the allegations that the fact, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, the fact that today the Chief Minister came out and said that I didn't even know about this letter. I was surprised myself that this letter was sent.
Yeah, so?
Which should spell even more trouble perhaps for his counsel, because you're in the middle of a court case. But you're in the middle of a court case facing allegations. And the person here who's facing those allegations says there's something happening around, but I have no idea. My wife has sent a letter saying take back that land.
But there is something happening around. He just said, I didn't even know the letter has gone. She's an independent woman who's taken her decision. And it's her choice. The plots were in her name. She has all the rights to write to any officials she wants. That's the whole point here.
Sure, she is. But the optics don't fare well for you, do they? That's the question I'm trying to ask.
Or not. He just said, I didn't know it.
I have the answer for it.
Why are they even making a big deal out of it?
Sure.
She's a woman. She has her rights, her choice.
Absolutely, she has her rights. But Syed Asad Abbas, I want to talk about the optics of this, especially since the Chief Minister came out and said, I had no idea. I was surprised myself that this letter went out. But there is psychological torture that she's undergoing, and I apologize to her for that.
That's exactly why she is written
Fair
a
enough.
letter.
Sure.
Right.
But since we're in the middle of a court case, as far as what picture this paints, do you think the optics fare well for Mr. Siddaramaiah and the Congress in this case?
Poonamji, you've certainly asked a question. I think the question is to me, ma'am. Thank you. I think you've fairly asked the question. As a matter of fact, being from the land of Karnataka and being here all my life, this question has been coming to my front too. But since I watch politics so closely, I can tell you, as a matter of fact, many of them who watch the Karnataka Assembly will know this front. There was a time when H.D. Kumaraswamy made an allegations against Siddaramaiah that he's wearing a watch worth 70 lakh. A very prestigious watch. Hearing this, when there was this controversy, Siddaramaiah ji immediately took the watch and surrendered to the Speaker of the Assembly. Whereas questions were raised there. If he's not, okay, Prashant, this is
Mr. Prashant, let him finish, please. Okay, let's not heckle anyone. I don't have much time left on this. 30 seconds, Mr. Abbas. I need to give the last 30 seconds to Mr. Dubey as well.
Thank you, Poonam ji. I think heckling is a sign of a weak spokesperson. Please don't heckle. Speak on your turn. Now, coming to this point,
No, Sayed,
when he surrendered the
Okay, let's not take personal pot shots and heckle anyone, please. This is a humble request to all my panelists.
Okay,
Mr. Abbas,
thank you.
30 seconds, please.
So, yes, thank you, ma'am. The fact of the matter, when Siddaramaiah ji did this, he said that this watch does not matter to me. My honor, my dignity is all matters to me. 40 years into politics, not one scam, not a single rupee on him. Therefore, wife is following the suit that this inches of land or acres of land does not matter. Honor, integrity is all matter because we come from the land of Baswana and Kuempu. To them, social equality and justice is all that matters. Wife and husband
so it's
both
just
are
the
following suit.
family walking in the same footsteps of following a code of ethics. That's what the Congress believes as well. Ashwini Dubey, last 30 seconds. Like I said, the matter is sub judice. When next the court hears this case, when next it comes up in any higher court, if there's an appeal from the Chief Minister or any other status check report when that Lokayukta finishes its investigation, would the court look at these developments in a certain light?
No,
or
no,
is this something that wouldn't matter?
See, development is the plots may be seized by the order of the court that look, the crime property, the property in question has been returned back. But what would happen to the charges for criminal conspiracy, the public servant misconduct, dishonest misappropriation, cheating, forgery? Now, second thing, talking about a legal procedure, established procedure under the law makes you ideologically connected with the BJP. What Syed is talking about? He immediately said, my two friends for the BJP. Third, it's not a case where BJP or any political party has registered a case. It's a case where the special court in Bangalore directed the Lokayukta police investigating agency to register the FIR, and that came after the High Court upheld the sanction authorized by the governor to conduct a probe against the Chief Minister. And this is not the first time. You remember J. Jayalalitha, A.R. Antule, Lalu Prasad Yadav, all of them resigned following the sanction to prosecute them. So this is not the question. Now, third thing, very important aspect I'm discussing. When the entire agency function under your guidance, when you're a chief minister, you are the chief of that state where the state executive, machinery, the police agency, the prosecuting agency, everything works under you. How can you call them a fair, impartial, unbiased investigation? This is my question. Over to you.
So the optics of it really, unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. I have to leave it at that. What happens next in this case, of course, we'll keep a track. But for the moment, I thank you all for joining us here on this broadcast. A quick break on this edition of Plain Speak. But on the other side,